What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So I told you that I would provide you an update once we started to see how the talks with President Biden and the House Democrats actually went earlier on today. Well, we actually have reports on that, so I want to provide you with those updates. First, President Biden is now calling on lawmakers to put together a roughly $2 trillion human infrastructure bill. So lawmakers are now tasked with putting together the best legislation into roughly $2 trillion, whatever it may be. And honestly, we don't know. Democrats worry that if the most popular pieces of legislation are not included into this human infrastructure bill, then the midterm elections could be disastrous for them. Axios is reporting that lawmakers believe it could possibly be in November before both the $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill and the potentially $2 to $3.5 trillion human infrastructure bill even pass. Well, that's about a month away. And now California is taking an additional step to ensure a mandate for more vaccines. So I'm going to provide you with updates on all that. First off, thank you guys for watching and always hitting that like button. It really does help out the channel. But let's get into the update. Will we see a $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill? The answer as of right now is absolutely not. This is not going to happen, and multiple Democrats have agreed that $3.5 trillion is just out of the question. There is no way moderates are going to allow them to pass $3.5 trillion. We should have known this from the beginning. However, that wasn't the case. And so it went all the way to pretty much getting a vote, and that's like, you know what? We don't support $3.5 trillion, so let's stop negotiating that bill because we are never going to vote for it. Okay, but how much will actually pass? Here's what we know. When the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, was asked if President Biden would accept only passing portions or a smaller Build Back Better plan, she said, and I quote, "He understands that he may not get absolutely everything he wants in this package, and others may not get absolutely everything they want in this package. What we're working towards is unifying a path to get both of these packages done. Compromise is necessary, it's inevitable." Okay. Well, she went on to say that the administration needs to work with members in the Senate to get them to a place where they have a commitment to a clear path forward on this agenda. All right. Well, then President Biden, he was asked when this $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill will pass. And he said, "We will get it done. It doesn't matter if it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We will get it done." So there you go. There's your timeline. Between 6 minutes, 6 weeks. So it's between now and the middle of November. Okay. So maybe Thanksgiving is going to be the deadline. We don't know. And even when the U.S. Progressive Chairwoman Pramila Jayapal, when she was asked about this, she simply said that she understands we're going to have to come down from our $3.5 trillion deal to get this deal done. Okay, so now we're starting to see Democrats, both moderates and progressives, come a little bit closer to an agreement. Well, here's what we know. There will be discussions over this weekend, and progressives are going to try to figure out what they can include into this bill. We know both parties have to find common ground. Now, when I say both parties, I'm not talking about Republicans and Democrats. Republicans, they have nothing to do with this. It's just going to be the moderates versus the progressives. Who's going to get the most? Who's going to get what they want? Is it going to be moderates who get closer to 1.5 trillion or progressives they get closer to 3.5? Well, according to reports, it's going to be somewhere right in between, probably a little bit closer towards the moderates at 1.5. So we will see. And according to 2 lawmakers, they told Axios today that they anticipate these negotiations will be ongoing for at least 1 more month before the bills will even be close to passing. This means negotiations are going to continue. Republicans are furious over this and are furious with President Biden because he made it clear in the past these 2 bills will not be linked together. However, according to him today, that yes, the $3.5 trillion bill has to be passed in order to see a $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure deal. So, in order to see both of these bills pass, we got to get the $3.5 trillion deal hammered out. In order to see the $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill pass, that $1 trillion human infrastructure bill has to be negotiated, and that has to pass first. Doesn't matter what the size may be, it has to pass. Now, according to Democrats that were in the room, okay, these are House Democrats that were in the room when President Biden addressed the entire House, entire Democratic House. Here's what we know. They said President Biden pretty much threw out a few different numbers. Now, they also said there's probably a reason why he actually came up with these numbers. You see the title, $2 trillion. Now, here's what you need to understand. President Biden mentioned between $1.9 and $2 trillion multiple times. He also went as high as mentioning $2.3 trillion. Here's what you need to understand. The two bills are $2 trillion apart, 1.5 to 3.5. If you meet in the middle, that's $2.5 trillion. 2.5 trillion is not going to be the top line number, at least according to multiple reports. 2.3 trillion is still a little high. Expectation is it will be closer to 2. So my guess is, my best guess, in order to see progressives somewhat satisfied with the negotiation, it's probably going to be anywhere from $2 to $2.3 trillion. Now, will moderates accept this? I don't know. Bernie Sanders has already stated in the past that anything under $3 trillion will not get his vote. However, I haven't heard from him today. Okay, we haven't seen him on Twitter referencing $2 trillion price tag, so we don't know. But my guess is he's going to negotiate this. He's going to figure out where pretty much his caucus stands and go from there. So, as we get more information there, I promise I'll fill you in on that update as well. Now, what is happening today and this weekend is that progressives are going to get together, put together a plan. And this is where my guess is Senator Bernie Sanders is going to wait until after this plan is put together, which we will probably have updates on that maybe this weekend. Chances are it's going to happen sometime this week because they really want to get this done and do it immediately. But they're going to put together a plan that will include whatever piece of legislation to get it to $2 to $2.3 trillion, and this will be the best bill that they can put together. Now, here's what I want you to understand. If we take all the different packages, now all the different bills, the different provisions that are inside this legislation, one of the things that you need to understand is that to get to $2 trillion, okay, just give you an idea, you can probably spend let's say $200 billion on affordable housing. There's probably $400 billion on things like long-term care, elder care, right? So that puts us to what is that? $600 billion. It's going to be about $400 billion. It would be my guess for extending the child tax credit payments. That puts us up to $1 trillion. That's $1 trillion for just 3 things. We still have Medicare. My guess is, let's say, an additional $400 billion. Now, don't quote me on these numbers, okay? These are just rough numbers. But let's say $400 billion for Medicare and expanding Medicare. Okay, well, that takes us to $1.4 trillion. And that's just with those 4 different things, okay? We still have child care, right? Let's put in an additional $200 billion for that, for child care. Okay, that takes us to 1.6 for those 5 things. So that takes us to $1.6 trillion. We still don't have anything for free community college, right? Pre-K, preschool, pre-kindergarten, whatever you want to call it, that's not included, right? There's a lot of things that are not included. And so these are, and again, this is just where things are beginning. These are where the negotiations start. And what Senator Bernie Sanders has said before is, what do I cut? In order to make the bill cheaper, tell me what to cut. Do I cut affordable housing? Do I cut Medicare? Do I cut the child tax credits? What do I cut? That's the thing, is trying to figure out what to cut. It's going to make some people very mad. It's going to make some people, fairly happy that they're going to get something from this next bill. But I can tell you right now, a stimulus check isn't going to be included, at least not at this point. However, and I want to kind of just mention this, there are reports, okay? There are reports right now that if the 2 bills were to pretty much die or they were to get delayed. If they get delayed into the middle of this winter, which November, not really the middle of the winter, but if it gets delayed to the end of November, possibly December, right? What we are going to see happen, according to reports, is if the COVID cases increase, if the unemployment rate increases, we're going to have more updates regarding inflation. We're going to have a new jobs report coming out. That's actually doesn't happen. It's the second Friday. So that's actually going to be a week from today. So we'll get the jobs report in 1 week. These are all going to be really good things because they could potentially mean more stimulus for the American people, or they could mean, jobs are coming back. We're seeing the economy rebound. Inflation isn't spiking like we were seeing. It's starting to taper off. That would be a good thing. It's transitory. And if that happens, right, that'd be good, but then we wouldn't see a stimulus check. But if all those things go the other direction, we could see a stimulus check. So just understand there are still reports, there's still discussions, but until we get more data and stuff coming in, we really have no idea what lawmakers are going to propose. But let me break down the news on California. California is now planning to impose the first vaccine mandate for school children. Now, this would be for children, obviously, that are in school, pre-K or kindergarten, all the way up to high school as of right now. This does not include anybody in college at this point, okay? So, what they are saying is that once the FDA has given full approval for vaccines for children 12 to 17, they would be included into this, okay? They haven't done that yet, okay? Just to break that down. For children 12 to 17, they actually have an emergency use authorization through the FDA, not full approval. The full approval has come from the FDA for 18 years and older, not for children 12 to 17. So, California says this would go into effect once the FDA has fully approved the vaccines for 12 to 17-year-olds, and they're getting vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds. But again, through full approval, not the emergency use authorization. So, the expectations as of right now is that California wouldn't actually kick this mandate in until possibly July of 2022. And this would be for children 12 and over. But for those that are 5 to 11, they wouldn't actually have this until much later because they would have to get the FDA's full approval first before they actually make this a mandate. So, what they are saying is that if your child does not want to get the vaccine, they either have to provide an approved medical exemption or religious exemption. And if they do not do that, they will be forced to do independent study at home. That's at least the report as of today. So that's what we know as of right now. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday. Have an incredible weekend as well. Let me know if you guys are going to do something fun. Okay, let me know down in the comment section below what you plan on doing. If it's fun, if it's exciting, maybe you have nothing planned. Just let me know. I'm curious what you guys got going on. But I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.